There we go. I'm sitting on the sofa today, so my setup is a little bit different. I got the iPad. Let me just get the volume off the iPad. I can't even set up the chat in the same way. Let's see. Hey, Jane. Well, the iPad is not letting me see the chat, so this might not work. Would it be terrible if I have to like go off the air and come back? Because it's not going to let me see it. Well, here we go. This iPad, I'm not happy with it, I have to say. I'm just going to make this quick. Just give me just a few seconds here. Come on, iPad. Boy, this thing is slow. Much easier to do this on the computer. I'm sorry. 8 people here. Okay. I just have to be able to see my screen so that I know that I'm recording. Let's see. Who have I missed? Jane Rice. Hey. Kathy Doherty. Rita Close. Patricia. Pauline. Okay. I just came on right now. Connie. I'm glad you weren't here yesterday. I'll say it now and then I'll say it again when more people come in. We're not going to talk about yesterday's video. I've taken it off YouTube. I didn't delete it because if had I deleted it, it would have taken away the jewels and the chats that people threw at me yesterday. There was a few that came in, and you know I appreciate all of you. So I privatized it, but nobody's going to see that video unless I take it down, and then have to upload it to my desktop and then edit parts of it out. That's the only way anybody's ever going to see it, and I don't think I'll waste my time to do that because people don't watch the long form. So if you're trying to see yesterday's video, it's not there, and that's intentional by me. That was my choice. I did post something late last night on my community tab about how upset I was about it, and then I decided in the middle of the night just to take that post down because then everybody would be saying, hey, what's going on, what happened? So I'll just give everybody, you know, the advance warning that we're just not gonna talk about that, and just be understanding. I've had a rough week. You know, when you go live, things can go wrong, but to have it go wrong twice in 1 week is absolutely horrifying to me. I actually thought about canceling my channel last night. Like seriously, like I can't do it anymore. I enjoy talking to you guys, but I do prefer recorded videos because, you know, if something goes wrong or there's a mistake, you can fix it. But on live, I can't really say live TV because this isn't television, this is YouTube, but live streaming on YouTube is just like being on live TV. And if something goes wrong, it cannot be fixed. It's there forever. And so, yeah. Huh? Okay. I don't know what that... I'm just not going to deal with anybody today after what happened yesterday. If there's even a little bit of trolling or something that has nothing to do with this, then just go find another video to watch. Hey, I got 16 people here. And today this has nothing to do about the Nancy Guthrie case. Okay. This is about there was a fairly large, not a large, but a medium-sized quake last night. I slept through it. Didn't even wake me up. Although I did, for some reason, I kind of fell asleep early last night. And for me, early is like, you know, maybe 1. And then something woke me up at 4. and then eventually I went back to bed. But I didn't realize till later in the morning, when I set my morning pill alarm, I got on, line, and they said there was a 4.2. And that's not even a significant quake. It wasn't even enough to wake me up or knock anything over. But the reason it's so significant is it was directly on the San Andreas Fault, where the San Andreas Fault joins another fault like this in Fraser Park. And there's been all kinds of warnings lately from the local earthquake people saying that the San Andreas Fault is at its highest pressure point that it's ever been in history. Since, they've been recording records, they've never measured pressure this high. And it goes from the Salton Sea, and then it kind of goes at an angle towards Los Angeles, through Los Angeles, but on the outskirts and through the deserts and through the Antelope Valley. It crosses into Fraser Park, where it hit last night, goes up around Bakersfield. It goes all the way up the central coast, not the coast, but central California into the San Francisco Bay Area. Not really, because I'm just used to it. It's kind of like you guys that live in the Midwest and the South. You don't even think about it when you hear a thunderstorm. It's a big deal here. Like today, it's cloudy and it looks like it's going to rain. There's monsoonal moisture, and that's a big, big deal. But yet there's no drops falling out of the sky. But we don't usually get this here in LA. Let's see. Also yesterday, I had added something for the members, and I had one of you guys that was in here test it out, and it didn't work. It turns out that I needed to go back into the settings again, and then I had to click a different button so that YouTube could approve the changes, because anytime you add or change something to the membership, they have to approve it. So if any of you guys that are in here that are channel members, those are my pips, and you can go to the tab. It looks like the Super Chat tab, but you don't have to send a Super Chat. But go to that tab and go to the membership display. There's like a display bar. And you guys as members, you can activate that bar. You can use it on YouTube on a live stream once a month. And so somebody did it for me yesterday. I think, was it Holly? Somebody did it yesterday to help me out. And, it came up on the screen, but the text part of it had not changed. And I'm like, oh, geez, I have to reset it. Oh, you don't have it. That's weird. Let's see. So anybody that's here that's a member that can access that display, once a month, they give it to you, where they just throw it out for free, like when they give the jewels out sometimes for free, or they give the free hypes for you guys to use on videos. There is an ability, I didn't even know this, one of my members taught me this. I think it was one of the Cathys. Said, oh, you just, go down to this tab, push this, and you can put it up on the screen. Besides thank you for putting up the free emojis. Those are the custom emojis. Hold on. So, that's strange. Are you guys on a mobile device? Because I know I can do it when I'm a member of somebody else's channel, but I can only use it once a month. And it doesn't matter if it's a free membership or if it's a paid membership or if it's a gifted membership. I'm doing well, Luke. Thank you. You're on iPhone. That's what I'm on. And, of course, I can't see what you guys are seeing on your end, but let's see. I have the iPad here. It just tells me how to send a gift. Hold on. Wrong button. Yeah, if you click membership, not the join button, what's weird too is I did get a notice. I got a notice from YouTube that memberships are going to go up, just like a couple bucks. But if you're already a member, then they will honor that price for another year. So just realize that, people, that if you are a member, the existing price is not going to change for a year. If you're overseas, it's a little higher, but they are slowly, I think it's sometime in August, but it looks like on my iPad it showed that it was higher, but there's going to be an increase for new members, but existing members, they'll just give you the same rate for a year, but you don't have to, do it for a year. It's a month-to-month choice. It shows the place for gifts or super chats on yours. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, if anybody can do that, or somebody new comes in and says, hey, I'm going to be a member today, or, I don't think I'm going to get many people because this isn't the Nancy Guthrie case today. But if I had 100 people, I would just, throw out some free chats. But I'm not on the computer today either, and I think I have to be on the computer to do that. I don't know if I can do it from the iPad. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I can do it from the iPad, so it's a moot point. But I did fix it last night. So the next time somebody becomes a member or they use that display box, it's like green, and it'll have your name and your little membership badge, and it'll say, that you're part of the Pips or something like that. Oh gosh, another person I have to take out. Anyway, so yeah, there was an earthquake around 3:38 this morning. I must have slept through it, which is great because I'm usually not asleep at that time. I did wake up at 4, just kind of suddenly, but everybody was fine, like the rabbit and the cat, and I didn't notice anything out of place in the apartment. I didn't even know it had hit until later this morning. So we're talking about the earthquake that hit last night, Patricia. Did you just get here? I thought I saw you earlier. Yeah, it's about the 4.2. And the only reason that's significant is because it was on the San Andreas. And the San Andreas, not only are we overdue for the big one, but the San Andreas has the highest pressure that it's ever had. Hey, Connie, thank you for the gift. The Sunday, Mostly Dolls helicopter coming in with the star. Hey, Cheryl, welcome in. Yeah, this is going to be a short one today. Yeah, they are getting more frequent, and they're, especially the last few weeks. And they're still pulling, people out of the rubble in Venezuela. The guy that's catching for the Dodgers today, he had been in the minors for 8 years, and last week, he made his Major League Baseball debut, and on the same day, they found his stepmother and his half-sister deceased in the rubble. So the day that they find their bodies is the day that after 8 years he got his chance in the majors. It's just, it was in California, and it's probably about an hour or so away, so it wouldn't have shook that hard here because it has to cross a couple of mountain ranges to get here. But it's significant because the world has been very active. As one of you guys just mentioned here, there's been, Kinsley said they're getting frequent. And, we are overdue for the big one, but they've been saying that my whole life, and it's never happened yet, and I'm old as dirt. But it's true, we are overdue, because I think it's every 200 years or something, but it's been 300 that there's a big one. And now there's a lot of pressure, more than ever. Since they've been able to record things like that, there's pressure. And it's one of the biggest faults in the United States. So, let's see. Hubbleman says, the Pinnacles and Joshua Tree National Monuments are twin outcroppings, or mountains, are twin outcroppings along the San Andreas Fault separated over eons. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Yeah, it goes from the Salton Sea, but it just doesn't go in a straight line like this. It goes like this, on a slant. And as it's going from south to north, from Southern California to the Bay Area, which I think it extends a little past the Bay Area, if I'm not mistaken, but it goes to the east of LA, but it's crossing to the northwest, through the desert, the high desert, the Antelope Valley, and then it went over Fraser Park last night. That's where it broke, and that's just south of Bakersfield. And then it kind of goes up through the center of California, and it still keeps sloping, though, at an angle. And so the fact that we're under so much pressure right now and we're overdue, and there's all these earthquakes happening all over the world, like massive quakes. Like, I've never even heard of a massive earthquake hitting northwest Venezuela. Like, I didn't even know they had earthquakes there, but I guess they do. And their buildings weren't built to handle any of that. And so there's a lot of players that are in the MLB that are affected. Like another Dodger, Miguel Rojas, his wife and children were there in a hotel, and some of the buildings adjacent to their hotel collapsed. So he almost, he could have lost his wife and his kids. And he had just lost his father. So that's happened. And then this catcher, his half-sister said, "Oh, I had a special dream about you that something very good is going to happen, but I don't want to tell you until it happens because I don't want to jinx it." And then a few days later, she was crushed to death in a building that collapsed. And the day that the Dodgers went ringy-dingy-dingy, you're coming up after 8 years, because our primary catcher, who makes, a few $100 million, I think, he's been down most of the year. And our backup catcher has been a big problem in baseball. And so they shouldn't have traded or got rid of, they shouldn't have DFA'd Ben Workvet, because now we've got, there was nobody to pull from. And the guy they pulled up, he went like 2 for 23. So then they got this guy from Venezuela, and it was like supposed to be the biggest thing in his life. But, he was dealing with the fact that his stepmom and his half-sister were probably already gone, and they were. Hobble One, I actually felt it here in Los Angeles because it shook all the way to Century City, and I lived in a building, not a high-rise, but it was, 4 or 5 levels, and I was on one of the top floors, and I actually felt it. I was watching the beginning of the World Series when that happened. Hobble One, wasn't that what hit hard in Atascadero? I don't know where that is. But Hobble One can answer that. Crystal Springs Reservoir in Mid-Peninsula is the fault in San Mateo County. Oh, I didn't know that. See, I used to live in Northern California when I was a baby, and we came out from Connecticut. And my parents were from Illinois, and my dad was on a job as a private contractor at a naval base. And one day, I just, as a baby, it had to be between the ages of 1 and 3, my mother had the car for the day. And we didn't normally have it because he had it at the base. And I remember there was an earthquake, and we had to go pick him up. And of course, none of these guys were California guys. And he was quite shaken up by it, saying that all the guys in his unit, hid under their desk. I was just a baby, riding in the car seat in the back seat. And I remember that, pulling into that Navy base and picking up my dad after an earthquake, because it was a big deal for the East Coasters that were out here. And as a Cali girl, it's ridiculous. Like this 4.2, even though my part of LA felt it, I didn't even wake up. Like I said, it would be like you guys in the Midwest or the South or the East Coast waking up from thunder or lightning or rain. It's a normal occurrence. So I didn't wake up. My pets didn't freak out. Nothing fell over. It was about an hour to the north, but big enough where, most of LA, if not all of LA, definitely felt it. But it's just the reason it's so kind of sus is that it happened on the San Andreas. Hi. Oh, and before anybody says anything, if you guys weren't here earlier, and I'm not going to talk about it, and I don't want you guys to talk about it, but I did, when I first came on the air, I did tell everybody that I privatized yesterday's video. I didn't want to delete it because there were some super chats and some gifts, but I've had 2 incidents that have happened in the same week, and the first time I laughed it off, but the second time, I was ready to quit YouTube last night. So if anybody knows anything about that, let's not put it in the chat. I couldn't delete it because, like I said, I didn't want to lose the gifts and the super chats. Northridge was bad. Yeah, I was actually in that, and it was horrendous. I was just down the street from where I'm at right now in Studio City, so it was bad. Oh, thank you, Don. I love all of you, but I put a post up late last night and I said I'm very upset about today's video. I didn't say why, and I said I'm very discouraged. And I didn't put in the post that I was like thinking of just trashing this whole channel, but it actually crossed my mind last night, like maybe I should just trash the whole channel. And then my little voice in my head that's usually comes from my angel Kelsa up in heaven said, "You get back up on that horse again, April. Get back up on that horse." And so, even though I have nothing to talk about today regarding Nancy Guthrie because it's Sunday, and most of the other YouTubers, even some of the ones that were boots on the ground in Tucson, I've noticed that the last few days, a few weeks, that they're starting to talk about other stories now. They're even the ones that spent so much money, flying across country to come out west to be in Tucson. Even those big channels that I am not and will never be, even they are talking about other breaking news stories. So yeah, I never thought of that in 5 years and 7 months that I might just chuck this all into the garbage. But that's, like I said, the first time it was laughable. The second time it was like, there's something effing wrong. And I have lost some weight because, like I said, earlier you guys knew I had that Zevia poisoning. And my body and my stomach just hasn't been right since then. And I think I have lost some weight with cancer, and then the heart thing and all the meds. It goes up, it goes down. I'm the highest I've ever been in my life. But my clothes are just so old. During cancer, my clothes were old. And I'm like, well, when I recover, I'm going to go. Once I lose my weight after the radiation, which I did, I'm going to go out and buy new clothes. But, having cancer and not being able to work, there was just no budget for clothes. And so, all my T-shirts and my shorts and, I don't even own a pair of long pants anymore. I do have some new shoes, thanks to a viewer who sent me some shoes. That was, I think that was from the lady that lives in Nancy's neighborhood, Miss Sandra. Yeah. And those are great because those are Pumas. Those are my favorite. And then somebody here sent me some Puma socks. And so I got socks, I got shoes, I got plenty of hats. I even got new readers. But yeah, I'm definitely in need of some new pants or a couple of stronger belts. It's just in my lounging around the house clothes. So anyway, I'm not going to make a big deal about it. But, I apologize to my audience. But yeah, I almost quit YouTube last night. But I'm just going to keep going. Which movie did you like better, April? Earthquake, 1974, or San Andreas? I never saw San Andreas, and I was very young in 1974, but I did see it. And it was kind of cool because it showed the Hollywood Reservoir, which actually isn't very far from me at all because it's just below the Hollywood sign. The dam holding up the Hollywood Reservoir broke. I remember that. I don't remember much more. Remember there was a little boy in it? And was Lee Grant in that? Let me know. Because she used to be a client of my ex-boyfriend, and she used to come over to our apartment, but I never got to meet her because I remember she was in one of the airport movies, and she like drowned in the bottom of the ocean. I remember that. But was she in Earthquake too? Because at the time that my ex-boyfriend knew her and she would come to our house, I was like always at work, and I was working on the set of Empty Nest with her daughter. And I thought, oh, that's so weird. I'm working with her daughter, and my boyfriend at the time was working with her mother. Was she in that? Who was in that? Somebody refresh my memory. It'd have to be somebody who's a little older than me. And yeah, I'm drinking out of the bottle. Now, another piece of good news, well, I shouldn't say another because we were just talking about something bad, but I did order an air fryer. I don't know the brand. Let me look at the box. It says Gourmet. I don't know if it's good or bad. Amazon had a coupon. So with the coupon, and of course free delivery because I have a Prime account, but with the taxes, it was just a few pennies shy of $50. But then I started researching in the middle of the night, I guess before I fell asleep, before the earthquake came through. And it said that like if I'm going to cook certain items that I need to use oil, but not to use regular cooking oil because it'll burn. Definitely don't use olive oil because it'll burn quickly and it'll smoke. And just, it'll be a bad thing. So they said you really need to have avocado oil. Well, I didn't have any avocado oil, so I ordered that too. And then it says, like, if you cook any type of meat, which I plan on cooking the turkey burgers that are in the refrigerator right now, that you need to have a meat thermometer. And I have a person thermometer, and I have a espresso machine thermometer. I don't know why that came with that, but it did. So I didn't have a meat thermometer. So I ordered the meat thermometer. So I'm like, well, now I got the meat thermometer, and I will have the avocado oil today. It's already arrived. And I'll have the air fryer. It's a mini one. It's not very big. I did do a giveaway on my, free Facebook app. I cleared a few things out of my cabinets just to make some more space in my kitchen. So it's actually sitting on the counter right now. It's a tight squeeze, but it's only yay big by yay big. It's a 4/4. It'll be enough for me as a single person living alone. Well, I don't really live alone, but I got my girls. So, so now that I haven't looked yet, I haven't done my finances for the day that I do on my computer every day because, I'm pretty good at math and the accounting stuff. So I got the air fryer, I got the avocado oil, I got the meat thermometer, and then I thought, well, why don't I just order some? Does Amazon sell like fresh chicken wings? And they did, and it wasn't very expensive to get like a whole pack, and they're fresh. And I was like, well, if I get chicken wings, I'm gonna need some sauce. And I don't like really hot sauce, but maybe some medium, like buffalo sauce. So I had to order that. So now I got the buffalo sauce, the avocado oil, the meat thermometer, and the mini fryer, which you guys suggested yesterday so that I don't have to turn on the oven or the broiler in this upcoming, horrible heat we're predicted to have this week. It's not too bad today because it's really cloudy, and I did see some water on the ground when I opened the door to get the Amazon packages. So maybe we did get some drops, maybe in the middle of the night. I don't know. Maybe after the earthquake, the skies opened up. I don't know, but yeah. So I'm gonna try that tonight. I'm going to try to put the turkey burger in. So, and it's already like they're pre-made patties. So, it's not like I'm going to mix it with something to make it more flavorful. It's already pre-made. So I'm just going to Jennie-O turkey, like lean patties. I'm just going to slap one in there. There's like a little grill that you insert in the little basket. I already put that in. Apparently I don't have to broil it. I just have to put it at a lower temp. I'll look it up just to confirm. There's a little book that came with it that tells you what temperatures to cook things at. So cross your fingers that it's going to work out because it was a rather expensive night. Plus I need to order pants. So, that's my story for today. Did I read this before? Jay said, don't give up. I almost did last night. Let's see. Dawn, thank you for the little emojis. Hi, Maggie. You really do make the best use out of chat. I believe you are going to make YouTube a better place for live streamers. For a YouTube earthquake rabbit hole. Stefan Burns. I don't know who that is. Hello, Sandra Cosby. I see you've been doing a lot of replays today. Thank you. That really helps when you guys are watching not only the live streams, but you're watching, the long form content videos. How about when you are feisty enough to prevail? I hope so, but after everything that's happened the last 8-10 years, I'm not as strong as I used to be. Kathy Doherty says, let us help you. I just need someone to hold up my pants. Oh, uh, the one with Dwayne Johnson was the SA. Oh, I didn't see that. Who was in Earthquake, though, from 1974? Can somebody look that up right now? Was Lee Grant in that movie, or was she not? Um, isn't that weird to have a big movie star like that in your house and you're not home and you miss it? Um, in those days, the Lord exhorts his beloved children to enter the new land. Okay. Oh, you saw San Andreas. Yeah, I didn't even know. I've never heard of that one. I mean, I've heard of The Fault, but I've never heard of the movie. Oh, thank you, Jay. Well, I appreciate you and Roger coming in. Hubble one. After I saw Earthquake, I told all my friends that I wish they'd make a movie with Bay Area and LA. Yeah, I did see that as a child. Shelley Winters was in it? Really? I remember there was like a little boy. I can look it up on my iPad, but I don't want that. iPad it's iffy and it's sketch. It's the new one. I don't like how you go between windows on it, and I might lose my chat. The one that I'm, watching over there and then watching over here, because I forgot to hit my filter on this. Oops. So I probably am missing some messages. If I didn't get to you, that's because I didn't see it. And I forgot to put on my Do Not Disturb. See, I'm just all over the place today. Hello, Doug. Charlton Heston. Oh, I know him. Actually, I was at a party at his son's house years ago. I haven't met Charlton, but I've seen him many times locally around here. Lauren Green, never met. George Kennedy, I've seen him out in Malibu Canyon. Richard Roundtree, never met him, but my friend Bruce directed him or wrote for him in a soap opera. He's got some good stories about that guy. He says he's a terrific actor. So Charlton Heston was in it. Yeah, last time I saw him was a long time ago in my neighborhood, and he was driving a Corvette. That was a long time ago. And I knew his son Fraser and Fraser's wife when they first got married and they bought their first house. And I was at their housewarming party. That was a long time ago. There was a bunch of people there from Dynasty because Charlton Heston was in Dynasty at the time. Shelley Winters, I love her too, especially when she was in Roseanne. Charlton Heston and Eva Gardner. So, am I wrong? Lee Grant wasn't in that movie? Have I ever met Kevin Bacon? No. It would be cool. My neighbor worked with his daughter one day, but said she was super nice. Sosie Bacon, but never met Kevin Bacon. His wife did a movie a few years ago, and I didn't recognize anything in the background, and I looked it up. It was filmed in Vancouver, and it was about some kind of like a box. It was like really, that's a fantastic movie. I can't remember the name, but it was in the horror genre, and it was all filmed in Vancouver. It was just great. Because I haven't seen too many of Kara Sedgwick's movies, but she was terrific. Saw San Andreas scared me. Christopher Lee drowned in airport. Oh, Lee Grant lived? I thought she died. So it was Airport 77. Well, I was just a little kid when that came out, but I saw that in a movie theater. I did. I remember my mom took me to those. She was the wife and she lived? Oh, I thought she had died. See, the memory goes after, that's almost 50 years ago. Christopher Lee drowned. Okay. Wasn't she like bawling all the time in that movie? Like, It was in the 90s where she would come over to our Studio City place, but I was gone every single time she was there. Other times, I remember I came home once and Alex Trebek was sitting on my couch, and I just sat down with him, even though I had never met him. He was reading one of my coffee table books, and he was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I think he thought I was a client, like, "Oh, who are you?" And I'm like, "I live here. Who are you?" We were just laughing about it. Like, it was so funny. Oh my gosh. It's funny because I would work with celebrity clients sometimes during the day and you never knew who you were going to meet. And then my boyfriend at the time, he had a small business, and he had some celebrity clients. So then I'd come home and I'd deal with it at home. But that was pretty funny, coming in and just sitting down, and I just walked in and he figured I was a client, and I sat next to him, and he's like, "Oh, hey, how you doing? What's up? And who are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I live here." "Oh, really? Oh, okay." And then he like sits up. "Who are you?" Have I met Willie Ames? Yes, I have. Many years ago. I got a sunshine from Cat Lady Grandma, thank you. Have I ever met Kelly Ripa? No. She's a New Yorker. But yeah, I met Willie Ames a long time ago. I like the Towering Inferno. I remember that too, but that's kind of when I was really young. In fact, the Eight Is Enough house is literally right down the street from where I live, but it's been torn down. It's right across from NBC Universal, next to Weddington Park. And is that Weddington Park? I'm pretty sure that is, where the Toluca Lake Little League is. Part of that is closer to my place, and part of it is across from Universal. And the Eight Is Enough house was right there, but that's all been torn down, so you'd never know. That's too bad, because I could go out there and do a video, but that's a tear down. That was not in Sacramento, because it was television. And most of that was all filmed in downtown Burbank. There's no way you're straight. Well, I am. Oh, I gotta take you out. But it's okay if you're not, dude. Oh, yeah, Pauline, I'm wearing this. This was a gift when my cat Alfie was really sick. They sent me like a care package for him, and he had a little Chewy scarf. I've got a picture of him in his Chewy scarf. Hey, Brenda. Well, I hope you missed yesterday's show, Brenda. It's been privatized. It was just there was a 4.2, but it didn't even wake me up. But the only significant thing about that is it was about an hour away, and it was on the San Andreas Fault. And the San Andreas Fault, not only are we overdue, but it's under a very high stress right now. There's some kind of pressure that they measure, and it's got the highest pressure ever recorded. And then we're having all these earthquakes, and then so our San Andreas kind of like started shaking last night. So hopefully it wasn't like a pre-shock. Because the thing about the San Andreas is not going to be the size of the shaking, but it's going to be the length of the shaking that's going to bring all the buildings down. Because, there's nothing on God's green earth that would ever be stronger than what I went through in Northridge, because I was almost right on top of it. In fact, the bank down the street from my place, it literally cracked in half when the wave hit the mountain, hit the Hollywood Hills and Studio City, and it bounced back into my neighborhood, and all the buildings like split. And our building survived, but it was pretty damaged, and like that was bad. And then the condo I bought, my first condo, that thing had closed. This building that I'm in now was wiped out from it. So the San Andreas would be bad, not because of the size of the magnitude, because it would be further away from LA, but it would be that it would go on for like 4 or 5 minutes. It would be like one of those massive ones like they have in Japan, where just shakes and shakes and shakes. And then the buildings, they can only go back and forth or up and down for so many times before the foundations just start to give. And so oh, you saw the bunny and the cat, Sandra? Oh, you must have gone to the animal playlist. They are so cute. Yeah, they are. Yeah, Northridge was horrific. And so was the one that Hobble one mentioned that I actually found in Los Angeles, the Loma Prieta, because I was just getting ready to watch the World Series. And my coffee table like kind of bumped up, and I was sitting on the floor on the phone with one of the credit companies about something. And I thought it was my neighbor, and I was like, "What? What are you doing, man?" And then it was actually the Loma Prieta, San Francisco Bay Area quake. Yes, I've been worried about you. I'm an earthquake pro. I didn't even wake up. My animals didn't even it was nothing. It was so nothing. Yes, I've been worried about you. Move to Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach would be great if I could still metal detect, but I could never handle the heat and the humidity of the South. I just could not. Maybe podcast from here. Yeah, I could podcast from anywhere, couldn't I? Yeah, I wouldn't be able to handle the tornadoes of Tulsa because Randy's always got an offer like, come here. And now I got an offer to go to Myrtle Beach, but weather-wise, I couldn't go to either one. And from a political standpoint, I'd be really out of my element there. I'd be hugely out of my element, and I probably wouldn't be very accepted. Um, oh, you did see the playlist. Thank you, Sandra. But thank you, Brenda. I will keep that in mind. Um, I would take them home, but I can't. I have 3 cats. No. No, they're going to stay with me. Now, you know what happened earlier this week with the AC, and then the next day it was out again because the bunny cut the internet, and I lost basically everything electronic, including the AC in the apartment. Last night, or yesterday morning when I woke up, I noticed the cord for the porta-air that I unplugged so she wouldn't eat it. I had it on top of the unit, but there's no way to detach it at the bottom. It was on the floor. And I thought perhaps the cat had jumped up on it because I had to move her cat tree to put it there. And I thought, well, maybe the cat jumped up on and knocked it down. Well, last night I was at my computer and I heard that cord hit the floor again, but the cat was in the bedroom. And I checked and I'm like, uh-oh. And I walked over and she was behind the porta-air, the bunny, who knocked the whole place offline on Friday. Like everything from the TV to the front door to the security system, the Ring doorbell camera, the interior cameras, the computer, the iPad, my, from Amazon, I can't say her name or she'll speak, even my YouTube LaMetric clock, everything just got wiped out. And, it was very stressful because we were going through that bad heat wave and I couldn't override the Wi-Fi connection on the thermostat. It just kept telling me to go back to the internet. Well, she last night, even though it's got a protective cover and electrical tape, had eaten through part of it's a very thick, like a cable, more than it is like a cord. But if she had, and it wasn't plugged in, so she wouldn't have electrocuted herself. But that's about a $400 to $500 unit. And it's very heavy. I can barely move it. It's got wheels. But she was gnawing on that last night. And I lost my temper. Of course, I didn't touch her, but I lost my temper. And I was like, you're going to Bunny Love Rescue tomorrow. And then she was like, okay, I'm going to behave. She understands everything. And then I was like, I know you hate to have your nails done, but I am in such a non-generous mood right now that I think I'm going to very gently, because she doesn't like to be picked up and touched, because she's a weirdo, I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to very gently carry you into the bathroom because we're going to do a little trim. And she didn't like that. She didn't like me, but she's never attacked or bit. But I was like, I know you suffer when I do this, but I have to do this. And I'm so, mad at you right now that I'm just going to go ahead and get it done. And then I was, covered in hair. I'd just done the laundry the 2 days before. Now I got bunny hair all over the place. I'm just like, so, at midnight I was up getting the electrical tape out, trying to find the extra cord protector that I had bought from Amazon. Hopefully I had a few feet left, and let's reinforce that. Let's double roll it. But I do have to order some of that. In fact, I'll put that on my Amazon gift list. I need some more cord protection so that I can start doubling up everywhere. And I also need more tape because I ran out of tape, taping part of the ventilation system on the porta-air. So, I'm almost out of electrical tape. I'm out of shipping tape. I've got all this garbage crammed underneath my desk, so I can't even fit my legs underneath my desk anymore. So I can, just seal that area completely off so she can't, take out the internet. Do you run cables and wires through PVC? She cannot get her mouth around. I don't have any PVC, and I would have to have a lot of it because I have tons of wires and cables. I said it, Jay. Bunny rescue. I will write a check here. How much do you want? I mean, someday I'm not going to be with us, anymore, and I'll have. That's where she'll hopefully end up if somebody can find them on time. How come I'm so high in the air? Because I'm on a green screen. I did that with my Congo African gray parrot. Oh, Nanette, you're so lucky. I love African gray parrots. I've always wanted one, like forever, but it's not going to happen now. Yeah, she has been a bad bunny, and she had her chew sticks. That's what I don't understand. And then I start worrying, like, oh, does she, because she needs her vaccine now. She's probably actually, I think she's due this month for her rabbit vaccine. But if I take her to her rabbit doctor, they won't take her for an appointment without an exam, which is like at least $250 just for the exam plus the vaccine. And then I could have that, and this guy's like the top bunny doctor, like in California, if I could even get in. Because even when your bunnies are dying, you can't get in. They're like, oh, you can come in a month. Like, no, they're dying. Okay, you need to go to the emergency room on Sepulveda in West LA. And that's like $1,000 to walk through the door. And then they're like, oh, your bunny's going to die anyway. I've been through all of it. And but being on a limited income, I've been going to these little clinics to get her shots. But I was doing that when my heart wasn't beating right, and I would almost pass out in the line. And everybody else was standing in the heat, and I was like, and they would put me to the front of the line, or I'd sit in the car and wait. So, life is difficult sometimes when you're disabled. But she does need a shot, and I probably should get her teeth looked at. But if they do need to be filed or something, she's going to have to go to a rabbit dentist, and that'll be in the thousands. So hopefully she was just being a bad girl, and there's a reason. See if they have Pet for Life. It's free. I don't know what that is. I had a cat who chewed my phone cable years ago, sprayed bitter apple. Oh, okay. Well, she loves apple. She might eat that right up, but she can't be near any phone cord. So maybe it's a blessing that this is the only rabbit I've ever had that doesn't come into my bedroom or jump onto my furniture or get in my bed, or because while I'm sleeping, she could come into my bedroom and she could eat everything. And she's already ate the lamp that's behind me. The Tiffany lamp. She severed that 2 or 3 times, and I used to have a handyman that did electrical, and he was able to patch it back together. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm not taking her anywhere, Sandra. But the last couple of days between YouTube problems and the bunny, it's always the cat that's, not a nice person, or not a nice kitty. And she's been wonderful the last couple of days, and it's the rabbit that's decided, I'm going to make your life HELL this week. And then she just snickers about it like, ha, 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 ha. She knows she did something bad. But it's like, spicy hay is like drugs for rabbits. Anyway, thank you. They try to help you. You mean financially? I always say, I joke that I need to win the lottery, but it's hard to win the lottery when you don't play. Because that's an expense I just can't do. So I will never win the lottery. Oh, Sandy, hello. There's so many Sandys and Susans and Suzannes. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow, I didn't know that, Nanette. There's a horse spray that stops horses eating each other's mane and tails. I didn't know horses did that. Roger did not feel the earthquake today. I didn't feel it either. Do you mean the earthquake in California? I don't think he'd feel that in Indiana. Yeah, and I have $1.51 in Jewels today. Oh boy. And you know that $50 air fryer, like I said, it got a little bit more expensive now that I had to order the oil and the sauces and the meat thermometer. So as soon as I get off the air, I'm going to test that for the first time. And hopefully it's going to cook as well as it would in the broiler, but I won't have to heat up the whole apartment. And that's going to save me a lot of money since, this AC has been janky for almost 13 years. I'm sure I didn't feel it here in San Diego. Yeah, it was only 4.2. You're probably an earthquake pro too, Nanette, if you live near San Diego. Yeah, you might feel the bottom of the San Andreas. Or you probably felt that one. There was one a few years ago in Mexico, and I was at an apartment in downtown Burbank up in the hills. And it didn't hit hard here, but it just swayed for like 2 minutes. The building just kept going and going, and I said, that's a big one somewhere. That's a huge earthquake, but it's somewhere far from here, because it was just like being on a boat, but it just didn't stop. Because that's what happens in the big quakes. They just go on and on and on and on. And it turned out it was in Mexico, but it was so big that they felt it all the way to like LA and Ventura, and all of Southern California felt that. So in San Diego, that would have been pretty massive. Be careful, my granddaughter doesn't use oil in her air fryer. Yeah, I'm not sure if they said that I should use avocado oil, because olive oil, which I just finally bought, because that's expensive. I had just bought olive oil, and they're like, don't use olive oil. It'll burn. But I don't know if I need the oil, because it's just the patty's going to sit on the little grill, and I don't like to cook in oil at all because I have a really bad stomach. So maybe I'll try it without the oil. He is motion sensitive. In Louisiana, he felt the big one late 80s, early 90s when the bridge collapsed. Where was that? Where was the big one? Wow. There was an earthquake in Louisiana? Where was that? Late 80s or early 90s? You're a hurricane pro. Me too. Yeah, Nanette says, me either. Tears my stomach up. Yeah, I got all this oil now, but I don't know if I can use it. Like, I can use the olive oil when I cook pasta, but I can't even cook that on the stove right now, because when the water boils, it just, oh my God, it's like a sauna in here, even with the central AC. I used to see wild jackrabbits and cottontails all over Cali, but none at all in years. That's because I think the coyote population is so high right now. Hey, Mostly Dolls Helicopter sent 100. Thank you. Use oils very sparingly. I bought some oil, and I bought some sauce to put on wings after the fact. And I bought a meat thermometer and the air fryer. So that, $50 is probably more like $60, $70 now. Like, that's just not something I can afford. But it is what it is, because if it helps the AC and I don't have to turn the backup on, and that, which is very loud, and it just doesn't heat up my whole kitchen, that's going to be a godsend. I just want to make sure that I know what I'm doing when I do it, so that, because I don't eat a lot of meat since cancer. I don't eat any beef, occasionally chicken or turkey, but I've recently started turkey burgers, and I like to pretend that it's an actual cheeseburger, but it's really not. It's definitely not In-N-Out. It's just a turkey burger. But hopefully I want to, typically I broil it in the oven, in the broiler part of the oven. So I want to make sure that it's going to get hot enough so that it's, well done. Nanette says they all moved into your neighborhood. What, you mean the bunnies? Do I ever use chutney? I don't know what that is. They love our jaguar grass. I don't know what that is because I live in a city. I mean, I don't live in New York, but I live in the second biggest city in the country. So it's, a little bit of mix of palm trees, grass, and pavement, cement. That's why I can't have a barbecue, or I can't, I want a wildlife camera, or to get a second phone where I got, like I'm filming the wildlife at night, and because I could just run that while I'm sleeping. Maybe get a mod or something in another country that can run it while I sleep. But and we got tons of wildlife in the building. We got raccoons that walk through this building at night, but I really need a yard so I can, I mean, in this neighborhood, not like in my immediate neighborhood, but very close, sometimes mountain lions walk through at night. I don't know if there's ever been a mountain lion in Toluca. Like, I'm kind of near the lake. But just, in the hills above and besides Universal and in Studio City, we do have the occasional mountain lion. And we have some bobcats too, but I've never seen one here. I've just seen the possums. We have some skunks, although I've never seen one. We have tons of raccoons. Never seen a rattlesnake here, although they are in the area, but not in this immediate vicinity. We use Pam spray if we use anything. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to use that. And if I end up not using it, since I haven't opened it yet, I can always send the avocado oil back to Amazon, as long as I do it, in under 30 days. So if I end up not using that, I will just, send that back, even if it's just, a few dollars back into my pocket. Because I got plenty of packing material here. I can easily just pack it up and drop it off at my box or drop it off at the UPS store. Hi, Awesome P.I. Davis, catching up and heard you have a new air fryer. Yes, we have the same name brand, and that's our most favorite. Yeah, I don't know. This is called Gourmia, Gourmia. And the only reason I ordered it is because Amazon said that it was the most popular pick, and they were running a coupon on it. But then by the time you pay the taxes, and then I ordered the oil, which I probably won't even use and will send back, because I'm not an oil person. I'm not a fried food person. I just can't be with my stomach. But I am going to try some of the frozen fries that I would normally put in the oven. I have a few in the freezer. I'm going to try those. And I'm going to try a turkey burger. And then tomorrow I'm going to try chicken wings. And I had to order the sauce for that and the wings. So. But the wings were cheap because they were from Amazon. 1987, 6.9. Where was that, though? rs.saf. Where was that, Jay? What does that mean, RSSAF? That is big. Was it in Louisiana? Where was that? You said something about he felt it in Louisiana. I'm confused, Jay. There was the Loma Prieta in 87. I think it was 87, or was it 87, 88? But what about, you said something about the bridge collapse. The bridge collapsed in Oakland during the Loma Prieta quake when the World Series was coming on. And I felt it here, well, not where I'm at right now, but I felt it in Sherman Oaks. Just for a couple of seconds. And I thought it was a neighbor. Yeah, that was huge, Loma Prieta. Oh, he felt it in Louisiana is what you're saying. Oh, I thought you meant that a bridge collapsed in Louisiana. I was like, what? Like, how could I miss something like that? Okay. So he felt that in Louisiana? That's crazy. I mean, I believe you, but that's crazy. Okay, now I get what you're saying. I was so confused. Good night, Jane. Yeah, so I'm going to do the turkey burger without the avocado oil that they said, oh, you have to use this, or because the other, I don't want to put any oil into it. I just want to put the patty on top of the grill. And apparently it does have a broil setting, but the book says, you know, to cook it, I think, was it 375 or 400? It comes with a little cookbook. But they don't have specifically turkey burgers listed, but you can look that up on Google. You don't use any oil. Okay, then I'm probably just going to send the oil back, like, you know, next week. I was just at the box, what was it, yesterday? Yeah, because I picked up Kelsa's package for Amelia Kinsley. Some of these things, they don't allow you to pre-package them, and you just walk in with that and a little QR code, so then I have to go to actual UPS. But if I can use my own box, then I just drop it off at my mailbox. It's easier. Ditto to what Jay said, we don't either. Okay. Yeah, okay. See, I don't want to put oil in it because I don't want it to taste different either. So I think that'll save me a few dollars because I can send that avocado oil back because I didn't open it yet. But I still did, you know, I bought the air fryer, and I bought the sauce for the wings, and I bought the wings, and I bought the meat thermometer. And without getting into details, everybody here that was here yesterday knows that I desperately need pants. So, because if that ever happens again, there goes my YouTube channel. 3 strikes and you're out! Mostly Dell's helicopter sent the sparkles. Yeah, I'll put that $1.53 towards the air fryer. I'm just kidding. It actually goes to my YouTube expenses. Oh, chutney is a Cajun ginger sauce. Oh, I didn't know that. So no, I've never had that. Yeah, I can cook, but I'm not the gourmet chef here. And if I had enough money to do so, like if I did decide to buy a lottery ticket and I won, I would just probably eat out most of the time. But I would have it delivered. Because I don't want to go, you know, walking in these local restaurants with my cane and sitting around, you know, sick people. And it's just more comfortable for me to, like, order out. But that's only for a special treat. And I still have not received an email yet because I said, you know who you are, the person, because I know who some of the cards came from, but there was this one person that sent several items, including food cards, and they signed their name, and it's a man's name. At least I think it's a man, but I don't know who that person is on my chat. And they may not want to call attention to themselves, so I'm not going to say the name. I'm going to make that person send me an email and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, and this is who I am. And then I'll know who it is. But they're like super secretive. And it's a very common name, too. It's a common first name and it's a common last name. And I have no idea who they are. And they could be using somebody else's Amazon account as well. Lottery win equals better quality food. Absolutely, Jay. Or you know what? I could get on one of those meal plans. And those would be good for my, potential weight loss. If I could get on one of those meal plans, like Factor. One of those type of meal plans. But some of those meal plans, everything's in plastic containers, and you shouldn't cook in those because the plastics absorb into the food and it the toxins get into the bloodstream and go to your brain. Yeah, I don't put salt on anything because of my blood pressure meds. And all these recipes are like, well, add salt and add pepper and add this type of oil. I just don't want to put oil on anything. And it was one of those middle of the night purchases, like, oh, do I have to have this oil? Like I didn't know that. But if you guys say it's okay not to use it, I'm just going to send the oil back. But at least I'll have the turkey burger and I'll put a few fries in. But I have to do that separate. I'll do the turkey burger first. And then while I'm eating that, I'll put in the fries. But they're not really, it's not going to be faster than the oven because they said it takes like 20 to 25 minutes. And in my oven or my, like on a baking sheet. And oh, by the way, I need new baking sheets too. My other one is shot. So like, I got to order that. Maybe I'll take the money that I get back from the avocado oil and I'll order the baking sheets. I hate living this way. It's like everything is hard. Turkey legs are good too, and you can also bake biscuits and cookies. Oh, I love cookies, but I don't need any cookies. You can make cookies in an air fryer? I had no clue. Is it better than having a crock pot? Because anytime I've ever had a crock pot, it's been a disaster because it takes like, 6 to 8 hours to cook something and then it's still not cooked right. So hopefully this is going to be easier than like a mini crock pot. I hope. And hopefully the cleanup is easy too. I have a dishwasher, but it's a mini because everything here, this whole place was built for the little people. Remove food from plastic containers. Yeah. Yeah, I actually donated a few pieces of Pyrex and Corningware today to my little local Facebook, the free Givey app. And said these are flash gives only and you have to get over here right away. Because I need space for my 4-quart mini fryer. Roger cooks for 10 people on Wednesday night. Can you send me one of those meals, Roger, express? I'll give you my home address, Roger. How soon can you get it here? On the crock pot. Oh, okay. Jay, you're so lucky you have a Roger. Oh, there's I don't know who it is, but somebody just moved into my building or somebody that already lived here. I don't know if it's somebody new or somebody just got a new car. Somebody got like a big Dodge, either a Charger or a Challenger, and it's literally bright orange, but it must have like the Hemi engine or something, and it's like, and after the earthquake, might have woke me up, but I don't think so. But I woke up 22 minutes later going, huh? Like, what's going on? And I was just getting back to sleep. Whoever that is, it's got to be a guy, drives right by my window. And that's right where the gate is. And it's like, bah, 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 bah. And my room shakes. And, I'm sure it freaks out my animals. I used to have a guy with a Harley in here, and it was like, like, I'm so glad that guy moved. Oh, it was horrible. But it's like, da 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 da. And when he pulled out, like at, sunrise, probably like 5:30, 6 o'clock, I heard him hit the gas pedal and he floored it. Because there's a main street right outside my building. It's a really famous, very, very famous street in it. It's one of the biggest streets in LA. And it's bad because there's a lot of traffic. But maybe at 5, 6 in the morning, and I just heard him go, whoa. It sounded like a NASCAR track. And I'm like, oh no, like who just moved in with that car? Because it's so loud. So every time he pulls in at night or leaves in the morning, if I'm sleeping, we're all going to wake up. When I was young, that wouldn't have bothered me a bit. But at my age and my insomnia, why? Like, why? And I like muscle cars because I had a Camaro as a child. I've had 3 Mustangs, but a Dodge? Orange? That's just not my jam. But I bet it's fast. Oh my gosh. Obviously, he or she, I assume it's a man, he's not a Mustang kind of guy. I don't even know how he fits it in the parking space. My parking space, the way the wall is, I wouldn't be able to get it in. My air fryer has a door that opens like a toaster oven. Great for small pizzas and so many things that use a small cookie sheeter pan. Oh, wow. Yeah, mine doesn't have a door like a toaster oven. It's like a thing with a handle on it that slides out. So anybody got a suggestion about how to cook the turkey burger in that? I'm going to look at the directions again. I think they said 375 or 400, and I'm like, well, that's weird because in my broiler, the broiler's like 525 in the oven. But that's why the apartment gets so hot. Even before it starts cooking, just when it's preheating, the heat just... So I'm going to try it. And hopefully I'm going to be pleasantly surprised. And I still have all the packing, the box. It came in a double box, a box within a box. I still have it sitting on my living room floor just in case. Just in case I mess it up. But I think it looks like it's pretty simple to use. That's cool though, Christy. Oh, and the cat, she's been hiding in the closet most of the day. And she only did that during 4th of July, but now she's in the other closet that she never hides in. So that's got me a little worried, does she sense something? Because, and then when the lady came to pick up some of the Pyrex and the Corningware today, she heard somebody outside the door and she just flipped out. She's very anxious right now. So it's like, oh geez. I just got my AC back, my television, my Echo, my LaMetric clock, my iPad. Please, no disasters at this time. 4.2 an hour away? That's a walk in the park. That's nothing. Is everybody still here? I haven't seen anybody else in the comments. Yes, Hobble. My mom and I used to fry our own old-fashioned donuts, and I made my own potato chips. Oh! That's what I really need, being the size of a cow, donuts and potato chips, but sounds good to me. God, I haven't had a whole donut in the longest time. And we have a Randy's near us now. That's the famous Randy's, near LAX, world famous. And by the way, I know the guy the very famous Randy's that's world renowned. I used to know his wife. And I've talked to the guy on the phone, and she told me, well, she's from England, and she's like, my husband Randy, he's the son of the original owner of Randy's Donuts. That's why it's Randy's. And I'm like, no way. And I looked it up, and she was for real. I actually knew the Randy that. And now they've got one in Burbank, but it's past the airport, past the Amazon facilities. They tore down all the old Lockheed buildings, and they put these big giant Amazon warehouses, and there's a Randy's in that little Amazon complex. But it's that's a 3-mile drive. But now there's one that's 4 blocks from here, if it's even that. But it's at one of those funky intersections where there's 6 different roads that all come together, and I'm I am so tempted to go over there and get a Randy's. Yes, I did. But, I was a little upset about YouTube last night, and so I just, I am diabetic and just had a real donut. Oh no, Pauline. that could be dangerous. Yeah, I'm sure my organs are shot to heck and back with all the treatment that I had, so I have to be really, really careful on the sugar. And they had me on a sugar pill for my heart, even though I'm not a diabetic, but that pill was making me so sick. And after I had all the surgeries and had to go off of it and then go back on it and then go off of it again and then go back on it because of surgery, I told the doctor, like, that's it. No more. And I just got a refill on it, and it was like $900 for 90 days. And I can't get that money back. I can't take it back. So I lost $900 on that pill that I can't even take. Somehow I will make payments on that until the end of the year. And then the new premiums will start again. You know, I'm really upset with my dad sometimes, even though he's deceased, may he rest in peace, because he moved to Canada in 1986 and then he became a citizen. My mother did not. She chose not to stay. It's a long story, but I wished he had moved there 10 years sooner when I was just a child, and then I could have had my Canadian citizenship, because if I did, even though I wouldn't have lived on the east coast of Canada, I'd probably be living in some place like Vancouver right now, or at the very least Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, and none of these issues regarding health and medicine and pharmacy and hospitalization, surgeries, that would be no problem. So Dad, you should have moved to Canada 10 years sooner, and then the whole family could have gone, and then we could have just stayed. Love donuts, especially the apple fritter. See, I like those chocolate glaze, and that's even more sugar because they're like, they're dipped in chocolate. Or the chocolate twist. It's like a glaze, but they dip it in chocolate. Or the kind that's got the cream inside. Oh, stop it. Don't mention donuts. I haven't eaten yet today. I just had a breakfast bar and a mandarin that was about this big. That's it. So I will be getting off the air very soon, and I'm going to go try out the air fryer. And whenever I decide to go live again, I'll let everybody know if it turned out. But thank you for recommending that I don't use the oil, because I can send that back. Because I don't like to cook anything in oil. The only thing I use the extra virgin olive oil for is for cooking pasta, because I like to put a little bit of it into the boiling water so that the pasta doesn't like stick together. But it takes me like a year to go through a bottle of that, because I don't eat pasta very much anymore due to my lack of meat. I don't want spaghetti and meatballs. I can't have that. So that will save me a few bucks to send the avocado oil back. Oh, I missed this. Hubble once said, it takes me at least 3 days to make a big pot of chili. Same with chicken noodle soup and beef stew. Oh, I love homemade chicken noodle soup. Wow. It's a little hot for that right now, but it's one of my favorites. My Thai friend would make that when I'm sick, so I can't eat chicken noodle soup out of a can anymore. That's so nasty now. And the kind they make in the grocery stores that are in those little plastic containers, they're just loaded in salt, so can't do that anymore either. Boy, it sucks getting old. Sounds like I got a lot of chefs in here. And Jay, you got a Roger. I'm so jealous. No, not really, but he's awesome. Hey, Sue Brock Schmidt, I haven't seen you in a while, my friend. Wait till I'm 84. You know, Pauline, I don't think I can make it that long with everything that's wrong with me. But I mean, I hope. Positive thoughts, but most of the relatives with the cancers, you know, their expiration date was in their 60s. Pauline, I would love to hire someone to come help me cook. I know. You know, one of the jobs I had years ago when we moved from Santa Monica to a new facility that was in Brentwood, and we were in the estate of Peter Lorre, the famous horror actor from, where is he from? Germany or somewhere over there? Austrian, Germany? What is he? You know, the guy with the big eyeballs, you know? And the company moved there so they could be closer to their celebrity clientele. And one of those guys, who's a like really famous billionaire, he had a couple of chefs. And when we expanded the office, and of course every company I ever worked for, because I was so good, I would make them so much money that they would move up in the world. Now I made just hardly anything working those gigs. I mean, it was enough to pay the rent, but that was about it. And I remember they would always feed me, whether I was working at the celebrity's house or I was working, you know, out in the field, and they're like, hey, come over at the end of the, you know, when you're done with your field work, come over to the place because, you know, the chef Steven is coming over, or the chef Carol is coming over. Because so-and-so, you know, he has a night out because he's got to go get another award for something, and she's cooking for the kids early, and then she's coming over to Brentwood. And that was the best food I ever had. And I was like, wow, if I'm rich someday, I want to hire a Carol. My best is quiche Lorraine. I loaded up with hearty crust and bacon in a giant cast iron deep pan. You know, I've never actually had that, but I bet it would be good. I used to cook not so much after 11 strokes, no energy or desire. I know. I think I'm physically well enough, though, to put something into the new air fryer and see how it works out. Then I'll toast the bun in the toaster. Now, when I did the grocery order, I forgot the cheese slices, but I do have some little, like, snack cheeses, and I can just kind of slim them down to kind of make it pretend like it's a cheese slice. Try the fries first. Oh, okay. Latest on the case. There is no latest. That's why there's a different thumbnail and a different title today, Kinsley. Not even JLR is talking about it. He was covering the shooting in Toronto last night, I saw. And today he was covering something else. If it were not for Roger, I would be eating Insta meals all the time. Hey, if I could afford the Insta meals, then all I'd have to do is, you know, take them out of the plastic and get some microwave safe trays and just stick those in. No problem, Kinsley. There's nothing to report. I hope there will be. I hope something breaks. Right now, we don't know where Savannah is. We don't know where Annie and T are. And this whole case is just not looking very good right now. Being alone with bad hands is hard. Yeah, I know. I drop stuff a lot, too. And then the poor lady that came to pick up some of the stuff at my door that I probably could have sold on eBay, but I just didn't want to mess with it because I just needed more space in the kitchen. So I went on to one of those, you know, free apps in the neighborhood, and I'm like, okay, come get this, come pick up this, come pick that. And this one lady, she just was like, oh, I'll take that too. And I was like, these are flash gives. These are flash gives. So first person that wants it gets it. And she was like, oh, I'll take the Pyrex too. And I'm like, well, as long as you're here, you know, Vaughn's ordered, they didn't have the right salad. And I declined it for the bunny, but then they put it in the bag, and if she has it, it's toxic, she'll die. like, would you like a brand new bag of mixed lettuce that's got iceberg in it? Oh, yeah. And I'm like, I just put the vitamin waters, and that was my mistake because I should have ordered the zeros a couple weeks ago. And would you like those too? And she, oh, yeah, I'll take it all. And then she showed up and she had just had surgery on her wrist, and her other hand was shaking like this as she was trying to hold the glass. And I'm like, let me help you, and I opened up the double lobby door and made sure she could get to her car and, watched that, because I didn't want it to all like fall down. And I was like, oh, I never thought about that. Like when she came to the door that she may have just had surgery. So it's lucky that I walked outside to say, hey, as long as you're here making this pickup, can you take a few more pieces of things that I can't use right now? I know. It's a struggle, Jay. We're all on the struggle bus. She's going to resell them at a high price. No, I don't think so. She was really excited about it. She said she has a whole collection, and I said I do too, but this is some of my leftovers. Most of my Pyrex is over at my Thai family's house. And unless she dies first and her kids give it back to me, I'll never see that again. She's got most of my Pyrex. And she has most of my Corningware. She lifted a lot of that while I was going through cancer so she could cook meals for me. And that was like 2019, 2020. But, she's my family, so it's fine. But in my life, I'll probably never see that again. But I do have some collectible ones that are worth... I have some of the sets, especially the gooseberry sets. If anybody has any old gooseberry, send it my way. I collect it. Oh, yeah. But the problem is the postage. Because, like eBay and Poshmark and Mercari, all those apps, they're all dead right now. So unless you're doing like giveys on Whatnots or on Whatnot, which I do have a Whatnot, but you're selling it at a fraction of the cost for the quick nickel over the eBay slow dime, like you're losing money. So I'd rather just be like, you know what, let me just hand this to somebody. Oh, Toronto shooting was covered by Nerd Report. Yeah, I don't know who that is. I just saw it for a few minutes last night because I was like, they don't even have, like, I don't think handguns are allowed in Canada, but we can't talk about GUNs here because it's YouTube. But yeah, I don't think they're allowed. I know everybody has, like, bigger types of GUNs because, or we'll call them boom booms because of their hunting. They're big hunters up there. Had to go for a pulmonary function and fainted. Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry, Sue. Oh. Gosh, see, we're all in this together, everybody. Hugs to everybody that's going through just getting old. But hey, I've talked for 88 minutes about, the earthquake and the air fryer, so I probably got like 20 views on this video tonight, but that's okay. And I've made $1.53 in joules, so that'll help. I had Pyrex I played with stored under my parents' cabin in Missouri in pieces I played with stored under my parents' cabin in Missouri. All great info. Well, hopefully this turkey burger is going to work out. And I will get the package together later this evening to return the avocado oil if I'm not going to need that. And we will see. I'll have to research the book, but I don't like using oil. I've tried to send, but it doesn't show up. What doesn't show up? The jewels? You can't get to the free jewels? It says my goal ended. I only had it for 30 minutes, but... What? That shouldn't affect it, though. That shouldn't affect it at all. I also have it set on the minimum. Let me just re-hit the goal in case that's doing it. Shouldn't be a problem. It's okay. I hope they can regulate my inhaler. Finally going to pulmonary. I have to wait until September. Oh, and it's only July. Oh, we were just talking about the 4.2 on the San Andreas. And then some of my chat's been giving me suggestions for the air fryer that I'm getting ready to try. Yeah, I hope so too, Sue. We're all in this together, everybody. I appreciate everybody that came. I can't believe I talked for 90 minutes. Especially like I need to hydrate and I need to eat. And I'm going to, try not to... I'm not worried about burning anything in that thing, but I'm worried like will the turkey burger cook at the lower temperature because it's in the air fryer. And I know that halfway through that I have to flip it, and apparently for whatever I set it to, it'll give me like a warning that it's time to flip it. So I hope that works. Does sending allow only once a month? No? Now, if you're a member and you want to put up the display just to show on the screen, like, hey, I've been a member for this amount of months, that's a once a month thing, but no. But sometimes there's YouTube glitches. Go live, the air fryer cooking. Oh, I hear the little bunny, and she sounds like she's checking out the backside of the porta-air. What are you doing? Amelia! Come get you some treat. Actually, she needs to eat her dinner. It's Sunday. She gets early dinner. And I better do that while the cat is passed out so she doesn't harass the bunny. It would be a disaster. And then I'd be too worried about filming. And then my pants might fall off, so... probably not. I'm going to cook and hydrate. Prepare for the next disaster. Actually, I'm going to find out how much all of this cost me. And probably send the avocado oil back. And today I just missed most of the end of this game, but it wasn't going so well. It's the last baseball game until Friday. Because of the All-Star break, but I will watch that. That'll be on like major TV, but I'll have to use the antenna for that. That won't be so good. Yeah, if I ever, win the lottery that I'm not going to play, the first thing I would do is reconnect my cable. Ugh. I think you'll be fine with the burger. It sounds harder than it is. I just want it to cook well enough. And I did, I have to unwrap the new meat thermometer as well. Send a picture of your golden Bengal baby? Yeah, just send it to aprildavispi at Gmail. Was it Nanette? Nanette, were you the one, if you're still here, were you the one that sent me the picture of your beautiful horse? I love that. Wish I had a color printer and I could print all these pictures out. Or if you guys just want to actually send me a picture, like a real picture of your animals, then I could make like a bulletin board. We used to do that at my old mailbox store. There was a big bulletin board, and all these famous people, plus the other non-famous people like me, we all had our pets up, like on the same board. And people would walk in the store and they would see a big bulletin board with everybody's dogs and cats and bunnies, and it was so cute. We had a board like that on Empty Nest too, but it was for the crew. And it was all their baby pictures because Richard Mulligan from Soap, who played the main character in Empty Nest, he played a pediatrician. So from the first season, he used to actually have a pediatrician's office was part of the sets. And they had a board where they had all the crew's baby picture, like on a bulletin board. And it was still there, like when I was there, season 7. Like, oh, look at this. So I could do that. Like I could get like from Office Depot or something, or Amazon, get like a little board And I could pin everybody's pet pictures up. Yes, I did. And I'm getting ready to go use it right now. V-Miss. So whoever sent me the horse picture, that was terrific. I think it was Nanette, but she may not be here anymore. But yeah, if you guys want to send pictures, we'll start a board. You know how some people have sticker boards? I'll start like a pet board. I got plenty of pictures because I got so many bunnies and kitties that have lived before these that I could put all their little stickers or their little pictures up. And Nanette, we could put her horse up there. And somebody mentioned that they had an African gray parrot. Yeah, and I'll show it on the air too. If you guys send me pet pictures, you know, send it to the address that's on the channel. And we'll show everybody's pictures. Email is aprildavispi@gmail.com. Well, okay, everybody, pray that the burger cooks right. Thank you for telling me that I don't need to use the oil because I'll be able to send that back next week. That'll save me a few bucks. Hey, Lori. And we'll also try the fries. That should be easy because, you know, it's just fries. You know, I just cook them and they're done. It'll take about 20 minutes for those. But I'm more concerned about the turkey burger. And if it all goes to heck, I've got some extra ones. And I've got some wings for tomorrow night. And that should save me money because then I won't have to order out for those. So yeah, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, that's a good idea. If you guys want to send pet pictures, just send it to either the email, but I don't have a color printer. So if you guys want to actually send me like a sticker or a picture of a pet, we'll make a pet board. I was watching it, Lori, and but then I decided to go on the air, and it's the last one until Friday. And Otani, after today's game, is having a knee procedure. What is going on? What's happened? Bunny. Okay, I'm coming, Bunny. I think she's trying to get my attention, so she's making noise. Okay, gotta go. Thank you for all your recommendations, everybody on the air fryer. I'll let you guys know.